Once upon a time in the ancient kingdom of Judah, there was a little boy named Josiah. He was born into a world where darkness seemed to overshadow the light, as the people had turned away from the true God. Idols were everywhere, and the worship of the Lord was nearly forgotten. But Josiah was destined for greatness. When Josiah was only 8 years old, something extraordinary happened. He became king after the tragic death of his father, Amon. Can you imagine? A boy ruling a nation. While most children were playing games and learning their letters, Josiah was wearing a crown and sitting on the throne of Judah. But he had a heart that was different, one that sought after God. As he grew, Josiah began to learn about the God of his ancestors. Inspired by the stories of great kings like David, he desired to lead his people back to the ways of the Lord. So at the tender age of 16, he made a bold decision. He called upon the people of Judah to remove the idols and altars that had filled the land. He wanted to cleanse his kingdom and restore the worship of the true God. But it wasn't just enough to get rid of the idols. Josiah knew that to truly bring the people back to God, they needed something more. They needed to rediscover the Book of the Law, a sacred text that had been lost and forgotten in the dusty corners of the temple. One day, while repairs were being made to the temple, a priest named Hilkiah stumbled upon the ancient scrolls. When he read them, his heart raced with excitement and fear. This was the very word of God, filled with guidance and instruction for the people. He rushed to Josiah and read the scroll aloud. As Josiah listened, tears filled his eyes. He realized how far his people had strayed. The word spoke of love, justice, and the covenant between God and Israel. In that moment, Josiah understood that his kingdom needed a revival, a return to the faith of their ancestors. Josiah gathered all the leaders, priests, and people of Judah in Jerusalem. Standing before them, he declared,
"We have neglected the ways of the Lord. Today, I promise to follow the words of this book and lead our people back to Him."
The crowd murmured in agreement, their hearts stirred by his passion. They made a covenant together, committing to follow the Lord wholeheartedly. Josiah led a massive cleanup of the kingdom, demolishing the idols and pagan altars and reinstituting the celebration of Passover, an important feast that remembered how God had saved his people. Under Josiah's reign, the kingdom of Judah experienced a spiritual revival. The people turned back to God with all their hearts. They celebrated, sang praises, and learned from the scriptures. And though Josiah was just a boy, his faith and courage inspired an entire nation. But as fate would have it, darkness loomed on the horizon. Josiah faced a great challenge when the powerful Egyptian army marched toward his kingdom. Even with warnings from the prophet Jeremiah to stand down, Josiah bravely chose to defend Judah. In battle, he fought valiantly, but was tragically wounded and later died, leaving behind a legacy of faith that would echo through the ages. Though Josiah's life was short, his impact was profound. The people remembered him as a king who loved the Lord and sought to restore their faith. Generations later, they still told stories of the boy king who dared to dream of a better kingdom, showing that even the youngest among us can lead with courage and conviction.